Hey everybody, it's your boy Ol Pappy here with another video, and today we're going to be testing a type of homing missile, the medium, the light, and also the heavy versions of the homing missile. This is the short range. They all have 350-meter range, and you know what? They used to be one of the most powerful weapons in the game back in the day, and now the jury's kind of out on them. And so I'm going to take some of these different builds out today. These homing missiles, the Aphid, which is the light missile. I'm going to take out the Vortex, which is the medium, and also the Thermite, which is the latest heavy version of this homing missile, and see if they're any good. Because, I don't know if you know much about Ol Pappy, but I've been around for a long time, been around for donkey's years, and I am so old. I actually remember when the Aphids first came out years and years ago, and they were actually only available for gold. Believe it or not, they were a premium item. And I remember the first guys that got them. It was just so, it was really irritating if you were on the receiving end, and it was like the best feeling ever if you were the guy lobbing them, because they usually hit target all the time. They did pretty good damage, and the best part was that the guy you were aiming at 99% of the time, he was basically helpless and couldn't get back at you because you were always constantly lobbing them up and over obstacles. And over the years, Pixonics clearly had a love-hate relationship with these types of weapons. There was a big buff that happened a couple years ago. Some of the players were complaining, saying that the weapon class was really kind of useless because it always constantly missed moving targets, and it also missed small targets. That was around the same time that the Stalker came out and the Gepards were really getting popular. And so you'd have this whole class of robots, these small robots, that were just constantly dodging your Aphids. Every time you'd toss them, they'd miss. And so Pixonic heard the complaints, and for one glorious week, about 2 years ago, they made them finally accurate so that they could hit slow and fast-moving bots. And I swear to God, it was one of the happiest weeks of my life. I love Aphids. I love the gameplay. I used to put 3 on a Gepard and just go out there and challenge the big boys, challenge the big bots, the Griffins and the all the other robots. And the problem was they were so powerful that Pixonic immediately got a huge backlash from a bunch of guys who didn't have Aphids, basically, and they dialed them back again. And so suddenly they were wildly inaccurate. Robots could be standing right in front of you, and you could lob missiles at them, and it still wouldn't do hardly any damage. And so they've kind of played with the concept. They've tried to get the balance right with the aiming so that you can dodge them if you're fast, but they do have a little bite when they hit. So one of the other things they did, of course, is eventually they brought out the Vortex, which was the medium version of the Aphid. I have level 11 Vortexes, and they do 35,000.7 damage. The Aphids I have equipped on this bad boy here, my Leo, they are maxed MK2, and they are 21,800 damage. And then my Leo also has a Thermite, which is the newest version, the heavy version of this type of weapon. I call them all the Aphid family, why not? And it does 46,100 damage at level 12. And so you're seeing me here. This isn't really a great map for Aphid-style weapons because there's too many places where you can duck underground and avoid the missiles. And you see in that last little bit of gameplay with my Leo, one of the big downfalls, if you're not going to be playing a robot that either has A, stealth, B, a jump ability, or C, a dash ability, because they're basically good if you can evade your enemy and then hit and jump, or hit and hide, or pop up and then pop back down to safety. But with my poor old Leo, it's just slower than molasses. It has basically no mobility whatsoever, and it took very little for the Reds to actually catch me against that barrier and take me out. So sad to say, although the Leo is probably one of the oldest robots in the game, it does not pair well with 3 Aphids and a Vortex. Maybe if you put an Ansel shield on it, that might help you survive. But another thing you're noticing here, now I'm running my Mercury, which of course has a stealth and a jump. One of the things you're quickly going to recognize is that being able to jump is a huge advantage for hitting target. For whatever reason, Pixonic has developed these robots so that if you launch them from a higher altitude, you actually have a better chance of causing damage and hitting your opponent. And so again, this is not where I want to be on this map. And again, as I was mentioning, this is not where you want to be, because you don't want to be underground, because your missiles actually need to arc up and over to hit target. I just came through there because I wanted to get away from my other group of random teammates who were too crowded on that ramp there. But anyway, if you can come over here, one of the nice things you can do with these is if you kind of just pop up and survey the landscape and see if you can get anybody on that top ledge area, and you might be able to kind of do some real good damage here. Now, some of the other guys are not playing along, right? They don't want Ol Pappy to score any points here. So they're kind of hanging down underground, sort of between those, in those little tunnel areas that link the sides of the deck. What I want the enemies to do is I want them to get up on that main ledge so I can jump up and really hit them. Let's see, that guy got taken out before I could get him here. Let's see if I can get this guy over here. Lob my missiles. Yeah, you know what? That actually took about half his health for just 2 Aphids and a Thermite. Not bad, eh? Of course, you know, I'm in a bad position, left myself a little bit defenseless there, but at least I hit that guy to show you. The intention is to kind of show you what the missiles can do here. Again, this is not a perfect map, but I didn't want to do gameplay on a perfect map because I don't want to give you a false impression about how good these weapons are. So now I've got my Raven, and here's, I have 2 Vortex and 2 Aphids on it. Now a Raven, of course, has a double jump ability, but no stealth. And so again, this is not the best robot to run this on. As you can see, I'm just getting hammered here because I can't stealth when I jump. And of course, this map has those weird structures going across the top of the deck, and they're exactly the right height for me to get caught up on when I try to jump back to safety. This would probably be a much better build on Dead City, perhaps, where you can just kind of use your double jump to jump up and pop up and hit guys and then jump back to safety. And then, you know, the final build I'm going to run today for my testing is the Spectre. Now, Spectre has a stealth jump that was recently nerfed, so that is going to also have to factor into your decision making in terms of whether or not you actually want to run it or not. On paper, it should be one of the best options if you're going to run the Aphid style weapons here, just because you know, it packs a humongous punch. If you hit, you can jump in the air. I mean, let's run through the checklist. Does it have stealth? Yeah. Can you jump in the air and get that elevation going? Yep. See, boy, my teammates are so good. They're taking out all the guys before I can even get a chance to hit them. Got to be careful on this map. You don't get caught up on those weird ledges. And look at that. The time's going to run out. These dudes didn't give us much of a fight. But anyway, I hope that gives you an idea of what these weapons can do and what they can't do. And let's look at my score, and I'll give you an example of what I mean. So, you know, I'm checking out the store. I only scored 400,000 in champions. That's not very good. Top guy got around 800,000, and I think that really just kind of speaks to the issue with these types of weapons. My personal opinion is that they need an accuracy buff. Pixonic needs to make them hit more regularly. You know, I think they also could stand with a little bit of an increased improvement in their ability to go up and over top of barriers. But now, before I let you go, I just want to do one more build just to kind of show you another option. And this is the Strider. It's a light bot that can do, I think, 5 dashes in a row, super fast. And the best place if you're going to run this with a Thermite and Aphids would be probably on Dead City or Power Plant, but I'm going to show you a little bit about what you can do here on Ice Map with it. It's a bit of a challenge because you're kind of out in the open and exposed while you're trying to hit these guys. Plus the guys in the middle are sheltered, as you can see, by those barriers that surround center. And so, you know, again, not the optimum. If you are going to try to use it on an ice map, you've got to stay on the ramp here, and you've got to kind of use your dodge to get out of the way, get up there and hit and hide. But I'll tell you right now, I don't recommend it. It's very hard to do, especially in Champions League. you see what's happening. I don't have any stealth, so every single time I try to get an angle on this dude, I get hit. And if I swing out to the side, which I need to do, I get hit by his teammates. And so it's really tough. See, and I'm getting locked down. Again, it's just not that useful a weapon on that map, but I wanted to let you have a chance to see Strider. Anyway, that's it. That's the Aphid style weapons out for a test. If you like what you see, please click subscribe or the like button and tell your friends. And until next time, good luck on the battlefield.